talk about the explosion because when we see that video of how massive that smoke plume is, it's almost shaped like a tornado wedge, why that's happening, the reaction here. So this plant actually focuses on three major chemical components here: aromatics, ketones, and acetates. All of these are highly flammable and some of them reactionary as well. So the acetates are said to be highly flammable. Also, the concern here with the aromatics is that water may not be effective in putting out a fire. Again, highly flammable. Vaporous when they come into contact with the air. Air mixtures is what I'm seeing here in the research. Also, the ketones is said to be extremely flammable as well. Now, some of them can be considered to be highly volatile. Some of them can be toxic. Now, we haven't seen any notes or any information coming in saying that there is a concern with the air quality. But when you see the smoke plume like this and how dark it is, you do have to have some concerns about the chemicals and the vapors in the air. So we are trying to find out what the air quality is. It will probably take a moment for them to get a reading on that. But there is some concern here because all of the chemicals that they deal with, again, the aromatics, the ketones, the acetates, we're talking about things like xylene, toluene. So these things are considered to be highly flammable. Also, that there could be a reaction with the vapors and the air mixtures, and that some of these chemicals can be considered highly volatile. So these are the concerns when you take a look at that smoke plume. I mean, there has to be a worry for people in the area, and that 5-mile shelter in place, I'm sure in place for several reasons. But this is a plant that deals with all of these recycle grade components here, but it seems that they do just focus on this one area when they're dealing with the product blending and the repackaging. You wonder, well, what are they blending and packaging? We know that they're coming down to aromatics, ketones, and acetates, and all of them are considered to be highly flammable. Again, the one thing that stands out to me is that water may not be effective in putting out a fire, so then it makes you wonder, how can they put this out? So we're reaching out to find out, how do you deal with this type of explosion, this type of fire, this type of reaction, because that's going to be a major concern too. It's kind of like when you're cooking and you use oil, for instance, water's not going to help. It's only going to make it worse. So you have to have the right firepower to beat that back. But again, the headline